Imagine this actually happens. Not tomorrow, not by magic, but as a result of progress in medicine, biotech, preventive health, modern drugs, and a gradual reshaping of how we live. And now there's a new reality. The average person makes it to 100. Not in a coma on machines, or as a vegetable, but reasonably functional, at least until 85 to 90. What a beautiful world awaits us, right?
A beautiful world isn't waiting for you. It won't just be longer, it will be different. Your economy, marriages, pension funds, and the very concept of old age were built for a short life. In a world of centenarians, all of it collapses. I've analyzed millions of scenarios. You're standing on the edge of a demographic revolution scarier than climate change. Ready to break down the details? The economy in its current form is finished. The idea of retirement is a mathematical corpse. Pensions, as Bismarck designed them in the 19th century, will die. No state can support a person for 40 years of retirement after 40 years of work. That won't happen. The retirement age will creep upward fast. 75 becomes the new normal, then 80, then talk of 85. And yes, it'll be packaged nicely, healthy longevity, active aging. But the meaning is simple. You work almost your entire life because otherwise the system tears itself apart. You'll have to accept a multi-stage life. The education, work, retirement model disappears. In its place comes a cycle where every 15 to 20 years, you need a pit stop to retrain and switch professions. The key asset won't be years of service, but neuroplasticity. If at 50 you say, I'm too old to learn neural nets, you become economic ballast. And that's just the first round. Then you'll have to learn again at 70. And here's the second layer, much uglier. Not everyone can work until 80 equally. Those with desk-based, brain-based jobs will handle this upgrade fine. Those with physical work, stress, bad health care will break earlier. No, the labor market will break when 4 or 5 active generations exist at once. A career becomes a dead traffic jam. People don't leave. They don't free up positions. They cling to jobs because life is longer now, which means you have to save for longer. That's not villainy. That's normal behavior. You get a jammed elevator of social mobility and career progression. People under 30 will be told, study, work hard, but reality will say, wait 30 years until someone above you finally crawls sideways into retirement. Marriage will morph into serial unions. The romantic vow of forever will be replaced by partnership contracts for life stages. One partner to raise kids when you're young, another for travel and maturity, a third for a calm old age. Divorce at 70 becomes normal, and the traditional family becomes one of the many formats, not the only right one. With a 100-year average lifespan, the housing market becomes its own war. Because housing is your main asset and your main base of stability. And if people live longer, they hold apartments longer, sell later, pass on inheritance later, and sit on property and rent longer. As a result, young people get access to housing later. Later means everything later. Family, kids, risk, business, moving, freedom, and when later stretches too far, it turns into won't happen. Your reproductive age is limited by biology, and only a very limited group can expand that window. People with incomes far above average. In a 100-year life, inheritance becomes not support at 40, but maybe at 70 if you're lucky. Great start, yeah. The risk of gerontocracy is critically high. If 60% of the electorate is over 60, politicians will serve them. That threatens a budget skew, more for healthcare, less for innovation, and an era of slowdown. An aging brain tends to avoid risk. We may end up with a world that blocks progressive laws. Young people will feel that their future is constantly being postponed, and that will produce a new, steroid-injected generational conflict. A young minority, buried under taxes, may demand a rewrite of the social contract. For example, a maximum age for politicians, or a different weight of a voter's ballot. If the system doesn't become flexible, it will break. Oh, this is the most toxic part of our conversation. A long life sounds like more chances. In practice, it often becomes more pressure. Because if you live to 100, you can't excuse yourself with, well, there isn't much time. People will postpone decisions for years because I'll do it later. And at the same time, live with a constant background anxiety that they're spending their long life wrong. Again, there's a difference between lifespan and health span. If you simply stretch life by extending old age, the world turns into a giant hospice. That's an economic collapse. If you don't rebuild these systems right now, then in 30 to 40 years, you won't be watching some golden age of humanity. You'll be watching a goddamn economic apocalypse in slow motion. You need 4 moves. First, kill retirement. Tax robots and AI. Today's pension model works only while the working population is larger than the retired one. Flip that ratio, and the scheme collapses quickly. So tax machine productivity, not just human payroll. If AI replaces 100 people, it pays taxes like those 100 jobs still exist. Otherwise, you'll get a pile of unemployed workers and impoverished elderly people, while corporations rake in super profits. And sooner or later, those corporations will start collapsing too, simply because nobody will be able to afford their products. That money funds a universal basic income starting around 70, no conditions. Second, forced retraining every 15 years. You can't let people become digital antiques at 50. Want people useful at 80? Then you pay for reskilling at 50, 65, 80. If you don't give older people a way to earn, they'll just devour the national budget through benefits. Third, prevention medicine, not repair medicine. Repair medicine is insanely expensive. Late-stage cancer, advanced Alzheimer's, that's a budget black hole. Shift to monitoring, early detection, proactive treatment before the disease becomes a crisis. A dignified old age is when you're walking into a bar at 100 on your own, not when a machine is breathing for you. Fourth, co-living 2.0. Loneliness kills. Millions of isolated elders are social rot. Build multi-generational hubs where young and old actually live near each other, with incentives that make it work. That social fabric that keeps the system from tearing. Bottom line, stop treating people over 65 like dead weight. If you keep clinging to Bismarck's ideas, you'll all sink together. You need to build a world where 100 years isn't surviving after 60, but a second full life. Hard, fucking brutal. Realistic? If you turn your brains on now, yes.